All right, so here's a texture I have. It would present some problems because it has it's not tileable. It's just a bunch of these dots. This is a manhole cover. So first off, I want to kind of straighten it out. Doing a crop will help. Okay, so now it's straight, a little bit straighter. I want a texture to be square, so what I would do is hold the marquee tool with shift, and let's image crop this. So now it's more of a square. And I'm just going to use it as is. It's not tileable, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be tileable in this instance. Also, it needs to be in the power 2. Sorry. Image size. You can see that this is huge. I want something a little bit smaller for the demonstration. 1024 by 1024. There we go. And usually I save these as TIFFs with no layers. No for compression. And then we'll drag that into Maya. We'll get into doing all this a lot more within the videos to come on the series. This is just a basic, throw a texture in, see what it looks like, that type of deal. Okay, so here I have the UV lecture, and here's metal. Okay, and I'll grab a new Lambert for this. Go over to my textures where that metal should be. Middle mouse button, click and drag to color, and there we go. Then I can apply this. This is Lambert 4. That'd be really hard to track, so I'm going to call this metal. And then we'll just keep applying this over and over again. Okay, here we go. First object. Ooh. Next one. If I hit G on the keyboard, that's last command. So you can see the difference here. Here, very highly detailed. This one contains some problems. The texture doesn't, really fit this object quite well. Okay, but the good stuff is everything's uniformed. Okay, all these dots are the same size all over the place. I guess I just go like this, G on the keyboard. Again, same thing. Dots are the same size everywhere. Nice. Okay. You notice the dots are laid out, perfectly this way. This one has where the dots are starting to slope. Okay, so something like this kind of texture wouldn't look good on this. What about this big donut? Looks like now a donut. Okay, here's some warping that's going on compared to this one. You have this distortion that's occurring. Okay, and that's what I was warning you about, the fact that things like this happen because we didn't do the UVs post or pre. We did them post. Okay, good. No warping occurring. All the texture looks the same. Same. No smearing, warping occurring. Okay, let's kind of look at this one. Yeah, there's where we go. So you can see what happens in this scenario. We can try to beat it as much as we can, but really you're going to get some kind of warped thing going on in this region. So you're going to have to play around with your UVs a little bit more in occasions such as this. Okay. Okay, good stuff, easy stuff. What about this ball? And you can see that's not too bad. In fact, it looks seamless. That's what's really nice about that UV setup for that ball. Okay, so that's just one texture. Now let's kind of compare it. Let's say I wasn't using something with a pattern, but using something with more of uniformity going on for it. And we're talking like maybe something like this. Much bigger texture, smaller type of pattern going on. Just going to crop it so I can get the vignetting out of it. Vignetting occurs when you have a camera lens. It does this blackening on the outside edge where light's having a hard time. So I'm just going to image crop this and turn it into something of the power of 2. I'm going to go higher res this time. I also like to sharpen this one a little bit. It looks a little dull. I think this is more of a fabric. So no layers. And we're just going to switch out the textures and kind of look at it. That way it's a little faster to kind of understand that. Here, we're just going to go into desktop, UV lecture, fabric. Notice this one has no real-time preview. This happens when you drag in a 2048 texture into Maya. Okay, so to counter it, you just double click over here and it fixes it. Middle mouse button, click and drag. I'm going to replace this color. Okay, so there we go. And you can see all objects now have that. And let's kind of compare. Very high res. Higher res. And it looks really nice. I mean, like as far as like uniformity goes, that's perfect. This looks like a scratching post. So, in fact, these all look like scratching posts. This looks really good. This one looks really good. So this type of texture actually flows really nice on several different kind of UVs. Here, you're getting a little bit more of a distortion. Okay. Let's take a look at this shape real quick. What would kill that distortion? Well, how about 2UV, and how about unfolding that area? Suddenly, it looks nice. Of course, you'd have to flip this shell upside down. To UV, unfold. Suddenly that distortion goes away. So now, hopefully you're seeing the relevance of, things, where they occur and how they occur. Looks like I got an edge to mend there, but again, nice uniformity. Very nice. So a little bit more problems, as I said. So if I had to straighten out more, and this straightened out, you would see the problem go away here, but now continue over to here. So, and then you have overlapping UVs. So I'll let you decide how you're going to handle that. In most cases, I just like this setup here. If somebody's going to be up in the grill of this thing, saying that as weird as possible, they would deserve a little bit of texture distortion. There's no doubt about it. Sword, awesome. Ball, amazing. Okay, so this has just been my little critiquing area. Thing is a little bit distorted, only for the fact that its UVs are so small. Okay, it's a big part. And then we're going to have to start discussing later on, what happens when I go outside here? What's the consequences? See, all of a sudden it looks amazing. Is this legal? And I would say only in Maya is this legal. And then if you get it in any other program, it's going to fail. But that's why we stay on the grid. If you're just staying in Maya and making a CG film or something like that, however, this isn't a bad scenario. All right, so hope you enjoyed. Please move on to the next video.